So I met Emily my freshman year at Winnick. It was Winnick back then. She was a sophomore on the basketball team. Right when we got onto campus, our team, we were introduced to our new teammates, things like that. That's how I met her. She was my teammate for 4 years. Eventually my co-captain, which was such a privilege and an honor to be even in the same, sentence with Emily.
We played basketball together there at Winnick. I think my coach probably introduced us because I was a freshman and she was a sophomore. So going in there, I met her through probably our coach. I don't remember the exact meeting, but I'm sure it was on the court at some point. But yeah, I met her through basketball.
How did I meet Emily? I think I must have met her on her recruiting visit. She's a year behind me in grade, but the thing is about Emily is that she's very quiet. She's very unassuming. So I don't particularly remember her recruiting visit. It actually took us probably, a month or two into her freshman year to really get much out of her as a squad. She's just very quiet before you get to know her like that. But nothing like her game on the court. Her play on the court really spoke a lot about her. Her personality is quiet until you poke the bear a little bit, and then she lets you know who's in charge on the court.
Her senior year, my junior year, she obviously got her 1,000th point, and we were at Emmanuel. It was the first game her senior year. We were at Manual and I was on the court with her when everything, we stopped, everything happened. She made her 1,000th point. And I can remember that, and just being on the court with her when she hit her 1,000th point just was really cool. And especially for me that year, I ended up having to leave that year with an injury. So I wasn't able to complete that year. So just to say that I was on the court with her for her 1,000th point was really cool.
I don't know where we were, but a few of us really liked Halloween and Halloween movies, and particularly Hocus Pocus. And in the beginning of Hocus Pocus, the brother is calling for her sister, and her name is Emily, but he has a British accent. And he's like, Emily! So we've always just, and whenever I see her, I'm just like, Emily! So I don't know what the scene around that was, but just calling her that, it was just a good time.
I don't think she would mind me telling this story. She's got a great sense of humor. And as we all maybe might know now, she's a huge UConn fan. So one time we were at a UConn women's basketball game at Gamble, and she spotted some UConn men's players to the left of us, and we kind of kept an eye on them all game. We were walking out of Gamble, the game had ended, and somehow Emily did not see a folding chair that was right in front of her. She tripped over it and made a huge noise, made a huge scene. And I think she sprinted out of the arena and all the way back to the car. Like I said, Emily's a great sport. We laughed about that for a really long time. And now it's kind of full circle. She's working there again. I hope she doesn't hate me for telling that story, but it was comedic gold, really.
So my favorite non-sport related memory with Emily as of right now, I think, is just her going to, she used to work at AIC. And so we went to a softball game, and I saw her there, because she's actually close with my husband as well. And so her being able to meet my son, Vincent, is probably now my favorite off-court memory.
When she scored her 1,000th point, that was I'm glad I was a part of that. It was just very impactful, and it was very emotional for her, and it was just, she deserved it, and she's fabulous. So I would say that, yeah, scoring her 1,000th point, I'll probably never forget that, because that was pretty great.
A memory I'll never forget about Emily's playing career is her junior year. My senior year, we got off to a very slow start. I think we were 2-7. Emily had missed a chunk of games due to a bad back. She was getting procedures done on her back, and she was in a lot of pain. So she wasn't playing much, and it was a pretty bleak start. We were struggling. Emily had some sort of, I don't know, shot or something to her back. She was able to play. We saw a girl possessed. She came out and carried us through the conference play, and gave us a shot at a playoff spot, to the point where, I don't know, we went on a pretty significant run there. And so the joke I always say is that Emily put us on her back with a broken back and literally carried us through that season, to the point where we had secured a home playoff game for the first time in a while. So that was probably something I'll never forget, was watching Emily put us on her broken back and carry us through the season.